We can conduct a meeting if we want, except for those areas that require a vote or approval, such as like the minutes. Paola, did we ever get minutes?
Sorry. I'm currently working on those. I'm getting them transcribed from the last meeting. I know sometimes, Miss Jeanette, I know Miss Jeanette wasn't present the last time, but I'm working with Paola to get them transcribed for this last agenda that we had.
Okay, no, that's fine, because I know that, I mean, when we get to it, I guess we can discuss it. Today is May the 19th, 2021, and we are attending the ribbon committee for individuals with people with disabilities for the city of Laredo. So I'd like to start. Thank you all for being here. I would like to call the meeting to order. And I guess the next item is review and approval of the minutes of March 17th and April 21st. I do not think that we have them prepared yet, so we can table that for the next time that we meet.
Mr. Castillon, I'm sorry to interrupt. This is Paola. We do have the ones for March the 17th.
Okay.
Those were the ones that Ms. Ramos had provided us. They were in the attachment.
I looked for the attachment. I never found them. I kept looking for them and I couldn't find them. Did you all find them?
No, I don't have them.
Yeah, I didn't locate them. I went back like an entire month and through all my emails to see if I could locate them, and I never found them. So I don't know. Maybe it's just me that I don't know how to navigate.
I didn't get them either.
Okay.
I believe what we can do is if Ms. Paola has for the March 17, we can forward the minutes from the ones Ms. Ramos provided. I know April's we were pending to transcribe, and we'll work on those as well. But Paola, do you have that the PDF form? Yes.
Yes. Let me go ahead and forward.
Yeah, or you can share the document too, that we can all view it.
I think the sharing would probably be easy because we're gonna lose people when we try to navigate this thing like that.
Yeah. If you could share, Paola, that would be great.
It won't let me share. I'm trying to share, but it won't let me. Sharing meeting, window with your meeting. Share. Share.
It's trying to share.
Can you see it, Christine?
Yes, it just popped up. Yes, we see the meeting agenda for March 17.
Okay.
You can see the first half.
Yeah.
We don't actually see the minutes.
Or Ms. Paola, is this? Did Ms. Ramos provide minutes from the meeting?
She did. They're here. Let me see. Right here. Let me see if that one can be shared.
Okay.
Share. Share content. Right there. see that one?
Yes.
Pages on the screen now. If everyone's finished with the minutes, can I have someone motion to approve them unless there's changes or revisions or deletes or edits that we need to make?
Hello, Danielle. This is Diana. I'll motion to approve the
Can I
minutes.
have someone second that?
I'll second. Ms. Morales.
Okay, Ms. Morales, thank you. You've been very quiet. You need to like speak up. Shy. Okay, so then we have a motion from Diana, a second by Becky, and we will approve the minutes. Second item, or rather the third, is any public comments? We didn't have,
No public comment.
Danielle, are you there? Mr. Castellon, are you there? I think we may have lost Danielle for now. Okay, we have no public comments. So number 4 is discussion and possible action on steps 4A. It says a report from Christine Reyes Special Needs Program. Ms. Reyes?
Good morning, everyone. For the last month, our report from our program, we enrolled for this month of May, 24 new families to our program.
Wow.
All the families were provided sensory bags as well as resources from this last event, bringing the total from the event to this month of May with 87 new clients for the third quarter. We prepared the 87 bags as well as surveys that are required from the state. It's a survey that has to be conducted after the services of our program that are done. These surveys help us understand what the needs, it's almost as if it's a needs assessment, as well as how well our service is done during the time of need from the families. This last quarter, we did receive our over a 90% satisfaction rate. We're hoping to continue to keep that stride with these new clients. Once they turn in the surveys, the state will send us back the feedback on the comments or response, and then also on the rate of satisfaction that was given to our program. We shared some information during May 4th. A Star Wars Day. So we were able to provide some educational information for kids on brain training, anything that has to do with motor skills, just to tie into the day of Star Wars Day. So we were able to share some information on that. We're going to continue bringing out awarenesses for the month of May. For example, cystic fibrosis, hearing and speech month, things of that sort, to continue educating the community. Again, to update from our last event, which was done on April 29th, we shared a thank you post to the fire department and the families of autism support and awareness on a successful autism emergency response project that was conducted. We had 63 families sign up for that project. They came out to the fire department that's located on Del Mar. We provided them with an emergency form. This form was going to be able to flag their address or their home, so that if there is an emergency at that location, dispatch would be able to advise first responders or law enforcement that there is a child, young adult, or an adult with autism, so that they have a better response strategy. the units, I believe, with the fire department, we're going to be provided sensory kits when they respond, just so that they're prepared. Our sensory bags had everything from sensory tactile materials, emergency preparedness information, resources, local community resources for the families, educational material, and health transitional toolkits for the families. It was a very successful event. The one thing I really, really loved about it was there was a community support group, which was Families for Autism Support and Awareness, that teamed up with us. And the collaboration with Fire, where the families were able to visit the station, the children and young adults and adults were able to get familiar with the fire department staff, as well as the fire department of vehicles. So they were able to tour around the facility as well as look at the vehicles. Because I know since they're so big, it might be a little bit overwhelming, especially the sound or things like that. So we were trying to get them familiar with it. They were able to get on board on the vehicles, use the bells, things of that sort. So I really like that. I love the efforts that the fire department made with this project. We're going to continue collaborating on these types of projects, not only for autism, but for intellectual developmental disabilities. So we are continuing working with Rodney Rangel from Bexar County. He's creating a training for law enforcement first responders. This is a TCO accredited training. So I know during the month of April, fire department did an internal training for responding with individuals with autism. But again, it's just one area of spectrum with IDD. We want to be able to focus on all. So Rodney Rangel, we're hoping to bring him out this year to be able to do that for us, for law enforcement and first responders, to continue educating the response team for better responses and strategies. Other than that, the event, it was successful. So we decided to continue planning for the month of September, which is Emergency Preparedness Month. And continue providing the community with any types of resources or essential needs that they might need during these times of crisis. Like, for instance, when we had COVID, the freeze, power outages, things of that sort. So we're in continuous meetings and working with one another to see how we can better respond to individuals with disabilities.
Good.
And that's my report.
Thank you for all. Well, you always have a lot to say, so thank you. So let me ask you about the first responders, and they're preparing so that when they get called, they know that there is an individual with autism in that location, in that residence?
Yes, once the families or the individuals themselves provide us with emergency form disclosing their disability, it gives the responders a better idea of how to strategize for responding for that individual. Sometimes, for example, when we were going through the trainings, fire department was going through their training, they were discussing that the response of an individual with autism might not be not as quick, because they might be trying to first analyze the situation themselves. They might not be as comfortable speaking to someone in uniform because it might scare them, and then trying to get them in a comfortable state and making sure that to avoid a sensory overload. If the vehicle's on, there's lights flashing, the alarms are on, things of that sort, of being prepared to strategize before getting there. And then also how to attempt to talk, and also responding, meaning if they had a medical need. Again, I had mentioned, for example, my son, taking his blood pressure is very difficult. He sees a machine, it puts pressure on him, it scares him. So there's different techniques that could be done to be able to complete that tasks that the responders might need to make sure that the individual's doing okay, they're healthy. So there's different ideas going out there of having mock drills done for making sure that responders have practice in it. And then also families volunteering, giving information on how their child or young adult responds to specific things, so that first responders also get practice and understanding of, it might be a different attempt, a different strategy to be able to make these individuals feel comfortable, as well as making sure that they adjust their techniques and strategies so that they can complete a task for the individual's health and well-being.
Christine, if I may just interject real quick, before you came on board with our group, more than once we had a discussion about our group's concern having to do with kids and adults on the spectrum and first responders and possible miscommunications, if you will, or trouble that there might be because of what you just described. And I just believe that it's so valuable what you're doing. And I, for one, am very grateful that you're doing things like this, because when there's a miscommunication or misunderstanding between a person with autism and perhaps a police officer who has no experience or background, it could have very dire consequences. And I think what you're doing is so important, and I'm very grateful you're doing that. I thank you.
Thank you. No, we're really the one thing that I really love about this is the collaboration. Fire department, PD, we're really jumping on it and saying, let's do this, let's get better. And it's not that the strategies weren't there. It's just building them up and understanding more. So they're great at collaborating, especially with the community support groups. I can't thank them enough for participating with us and helping us get families involved, as well as being able to spread the word on these types of projects and initiatives.
Yes, we have met as a group with the police department to voice our concerns in this regard, but you're actually out there doing something about it. I'm really grateful.
Thank you. That was
Christine, besides, I understand those individuals that are on the spectrum, but I know that maybe the population that is, I guess, indicated or coded in their information, file information, can also include individuals with mental illness. So what happens sometimes is people show up, or the police get called in and they show up. And I saw it many times where they didn't understand, they didn't communicate. Person is psychotic or delusional. They don't see the symptoms. They don't know the person. This is the person they've been called. They think that he's being uncompliant with their orders or their discussion. And then they proceed in a very aggressive manner, not knowing what's going on or what the person is, the illness of the individual. And so I think that this is a first start for individuals on the spectrum, but beyond that, you all need to think about those individuals that typically aren't responsive, don't respond normally, because they're just, they just don't do it. You just can't. And so I think that that's important, that you can start with autism and the people with IDD, but then the other group of individuals that are sometimes alone and no one knows that their background is individuals with mental illness or severe mental illness, and the police respond to it in a way that typically you wouldn't in a clinical environment, but that's because they lack the knowledge, and not so much it's because they don't have the information. So technologically, I think that we're advanced to the point where all those individuals, if allowed, and they've allowed it, their names and their history could be filed to some degree, so that when they do get called to a location, people know what to expect, or rather the police know what to expect, or first responders. But I think it needs to go beyond just that. So, I congratulate you for starting that out. I think it's critical and essential. And, we've moved to a point where technologically, electronically, things can be stored and it can be quickly divulged. Okay. And so, now this is especially when the police have never dealt with that individual. They don't know what they're walking into. So I know that the police get training on crisis intervention for individuals with mental illness. A lot of them have no clue what they're walking into, and so don't know. And so they treat that individual just like any other individual. And when they don't respond normally, they react sometimes quite offensively or quite. That's a start. So I congratulate you. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
So, Arno. So the second part to that agenda item is, do we have any other updates or services that are being provided to individuals with disabilities?
I have something that I wanted to share. Tammy Yu is having a month-long lessons, I guess you'd say, a course on American Sign Language. It's going to take place June 1 through July 1. The location is to be announced. It's led by Marco Antonio Coronado. And if anyone wants any information or wants to register for this month-long course, the number is 326-3068. That's the Continuing Information Office. That's 326-3068. And it's a month-long course on American Sign Language that will focus on just basic communication skills in sign, so that you will have at least the basics of understanding and communication in American Sign Language. That's it.
Ms. Dr. Ruthinger, is there any charge or anything? Do you know what the schedule looks like?
I don't really have that information. The schedule is going to be evening classes. They will take place from 6 to 7. And the reason that we're doing that is because that's more conducive to people who work. So I, for one, am hoping that it takes off and the people who are interested. I don't have the information on the cost.
Okay, that's fine. I was just
A lot of
curious.
these continuing education courses are a little charge or no charge. So that's why I gave the number, so that if anyone is interested, they can find out more. 326-3068.
You know, now that you bring this up, a few months ago, or a month and a half ago, we were in and there was a lady there that was taking the orders, correct? And so I have an 18-year-old daughter. Or at least the basics. So I guess she automatically thanks people, okay, with her hands. And so the lady that was behind the counter told her, "Oh my God, you thanked me with the sign language." And my daughter says, "Oh yeah." And she says, she says, "I've worked here for years." She was a lady in her, I guess her late 40s or 50s. She says, "No one's ever done that." And she says, "I know the language because my mother was deaf. So I had to learn early on." And she says, "But you'd be surprised how many people, how helpful it would be if more of the population learn how to sign, at least some basics." Okay. And so they feel very left out because people can't communicate with people who have suffered some degree of deafness, and they've learned how to communicate with their hands. So my daughter came back to the table. She says, "Oh, the lady thanked me." And she was just like really like amazed that I had entered with my hands. So I don't even know how to do that, right? But I know that it's something like they do something like this or something like that, or like.
It's like this. Thank you. It's very
Okay.
nice.
So I asked her, I said, "Do you do that or what?" She says, "Yeah." She says, "Sometimes I have this habit of doing sign language with people. They don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing it." So it was interesting. So now that you bring this up, I'm going to bring it up to her to see if she wants to do it. Thank you.
It's a very good thing.
Yeah.
Thank you for that information. This is Diana, if I may. So Christine and I are working on a health transition fair. So the health department has the grant that, of course, Christine oversees, which is all this great information that she reports. And I said, we're missing the boat here if we don't collaborate and connect, because we've got the money to help the individuals. So we kind of are brainstorming and we're going through the planning phase, wanting to understand what is a better date for the schools. We know that October is Disability Employment Awareness Month. So there'll be a lot of activities in October. And we're tentatively looking at October. Initially, we said September, and then we said October. So we'll be reaching out to the schools. And of course, Rebecca and Mr. Garza, you all could probably better help guide us as to, testing and, that we don't do it on a teacher, work day or whatever that may be. If we could, pick your brains and see what best dates would work. We are looking at October. And the idea of the fair, it'll be, of course, a virtual platform. We still don't know where we're going to be in October, but our manager, Ms. Janet Ramos, has approved that we use that virtual platform that the state has. So it'll be virtual. The communication on that platform is via chat. We'll bring partners, providers. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll do different pavilions, but we do need the collaboration of the schools. Without that, it cannot happen. We've got a lot of money for transition, right, youth, to see who's the right fit. Of course, the health department through Christine, so that we can assure that we continue to bring these grants down to our community and that we're effective. I think it's going to be a great partnership, but we can't do it alone, right? So I wanted to just plant that seed, let you all know that we're in collaboration with the health department on this virtual platform from the TWC state. And we expect it to be a great event. So because it's virtual and because there's not a limit, I think we can go up to 1,000 booths. And if you get Christine and I together, we may go over that, but we're going to keep it manageable, right? We want to keep it manageable and assure that we're bringing value and that we're being effective with Christine needing those referrals in her collaborations, us needing referrals and having that money to expend to the right fit, right? So I wanted to let you all know that we're having those conversations. Down the road, we'll bring more individuals in once we've gone through all the logistics and iron out all the stuff that we can do on the back end and come better prepared to present to you all. But I did want to let you all know that we're currently working on something for transition youth. Okay, Christine, if you want to chime in and share, that'd be great.
Yes, the idea came in with it being a transitional fair due to when the young adults from 14 to 21, and I know we go it further, we want to help educate them on transitional healthcare because it does change if they're on Medicaid or any type of insurance that their parent might have for them. The toolkit for that the state has already provided, a lot of people are not familiar with. And unfortunately, some skip the step of able to have insurance for their whether it be medication or is going to incorporate health transition, jobs and vocational training, and information on employment, as well as educational transitional assistance, which would we incorporate the universities and colleges, especially during this time from 14 to 22. We go through a lot of families, or at least I do when I get information for families, is what's the next step? What should we do, or how do we prepare? Okay, well, we prepare by freshman year and continue growing with that young adult to their adulthood. And it's just, again, to help them prepare. And if they're seniors now, we're going to help as much as we can. And if they're 14 and going on, they're better prepared. Again, this is just something that our program with children and young adults with special healthcare needs focuses on, is on the transitional needs that these families are incorporating for independency for this individual or their child or young adult.
Well, ladies, definitely let us know, and we'll have Mr. Solis participate like he has in the past. I know he's helped with different things with Ms. Sanchez to take our kids and to get them to the fairs and stuff. So just let us know around what time we're looking at, or we can look at the calendar. We're ready for next year. You know, hopefully all face to face and ready to go.
Yeah, Rebecca, that's great. You know what would be great if you all could, if you would look at the calendars and see what works. Maybe put a couple of dates out there in October. We know it's going to be a very busy month on this virtual platform. So to give you a little bit of logistics regarding this virtual platform that we utilize, which is the Easy Virtual Fair, there's a calendar, right? And there's a form that we need to submit. And with that needs to be the name, of course, of the event, which Christina and I are coming up with some catchy, name that would be enticing. And the other thing is, a lot of folks are going to be using those licenses, and we have 4. So the sooner that we can lock in a date, the better that we can send that form up to state for approval, the better off we'll be. The other thing is, I know that through Mr. Solis and through UISD as well, some of the teachers in other events that we've had, transition events or career fairs, the teachers have asked, hey, could we navigate the fair? Because they've got those Google boards, right, that they call. Can we navigate the fair? And you've got 10, 15, 12, however many that is, for them and take them through, and the teacher could navigate it and said, sure, absolutely, we welcome that. So we can be very creative. There's enough time to be strategic about our planning to assure that, number one, people are comfortable with this platform. We will also do trainings, if that would be for the teacher or the student. We'll have different sessions for the platform, very basic, if there's help needed building booths, we can do that too. We'll do that training. But also, if they've collaborated with us before on this platform, there's no need to rebuild the booth. The only thing is, if you've got a new initiative or there's something you'd like to promote, you want to add some links, we're welcome to do that. But of course, all those conversations will be had at the right time. But right now, really, the urgency is to lock in a date, and a date that works for the school districts. So if I could have, Mr. Garza and you, Rebecca, just, send over some dates that you see on the calendar that would work in October, and then Christine and I will get to work to lock that in and secure that license for the transition fair. I think that would be great. Thank you.
We'll do.
Diana,
Thank you so much.
Possible that we get together with you and Christina and Rebecca and myself, because I'm looking at this year's October calendar that just passed, and October is very tight. I mean, we have Autism Awareness Month, Breast Cancer Month, Dyslexia Awareness Month, Bosses Day, Red Ribbon Week, and so forth. So we really have to get together. Maybe in June, Becky, we can get together and get a date that works for both school districts. We're working on a calendar ready for next year. It's not ready yet, but as soon as it's ready, I'll call you.
Yeah. Now, the other thing is, Mr. Garza, if you mentioned, it's really tight. We're flexible too. We would like to do it in October because the employment awareness, Disability Employment Awareness Month, we would like to. But believe me, we will be flexible because we want the attendance and we want to assure that their partners are there and the community benefits from the event, right? We'll bring the short-term fast-track training. We'll bring the colleges as well. We'll bring providers, community partners that provide information for individuals with disabilities, whether that's the Downs moms or the autism group, whatever it is. We've got enough room on the platform. We just need to get real clear on the date that's going to work, because we need the school's attendance. Without you all, there's no transition fair, right? So know that we're flexible, but the sooner that we hear back, the better. And I'm glad we're having this conversation, because I had meant to reach out to you all as well. But I said, you know what? We're going to see them on this platform. Both Christine and I are here. So we appreciate the time and we look forward to hearing back from you. Thank you so much.
I'm excited. It sounds great.
Yes, it's going to be great. We just need to assure to align our ducks and make sure that we've got the planning, but it's going to be an amazing event. And the fact that the teacher, because we've done it before, can navigate for them and not necessarily just the student, everyone have to log in. And I know it's been recommended in the past to utilize the students' school issued email, because the only way that they could log in is we've got to send the flyer, there's a link, and they've got to put their email in there. in order to be able to log on to this platform. So there's a lot of other logistics that are going on in the back end, but I appreciate the time on this platform. Thank you so much.
Yeah, the logistics are challenging to be sure.
I'm sure you guys will figure it out and make it easy for everyone. Thank you all for the information. Anyone else? If not, I guess we can move to the next agenda item, which is announcements. No announcements? No one's getting married? Having children? Divorcing? Anything? Okay, that's fine. I guess no news is good news, right? Okay, and the last item is just the adjournment.
Is it okay to meet by Zoom for next month at least?
Yes. Yeah, I think
So
so.
can we plan to do Zoom then next? Can we coordinate to do that for next month?
Sure. Sure, I don't have a problem with this. This is convenient.
I think for everybody, right? Especially today, it's flooding. I was thinking for everybody to drive from their, workplaces, it would have been tough. Some streets were actually blocked because of the flooding.
Yeah.
Danielle, I would like to recommend that we have both virtual and face-to-face, because sometimes it's easier for me to stay here at work and log in and get in out of the office. I'm sure for Becky it's the same way. It's just so much easier to be in attendance.
Yeah,
I think both options, I think it would work out very well for me.
Yeah, I think Mr. Chamberlain said that we could have a hybrid format. It'd work.
Daniel, I think we'll have better attendance if we do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think,
want
yeah.
to make sure and include everybody. It's important.
Yeah, I don't have a problem going. I don't have a problem continuing to meet like through Zoom for a few more months or a few more meetings.
I just wanted to bring that up before we adjourn.
Yeah.
Great.
And I know it's more convenient to do this than it is to actually drive, because you need to take some time before and time after, whereas this is, I guess, convenient. And I think this pandemic has forced us to learn new ways of conducting business, not only here, but in so many other ways, and providing services via telemedicine or telehealth and stuff like that. That historically the government and Medicare and Medicaid and insurance companies had frowned upon, but they had to be done. And so it's funny how when legislatively they tried to pass a number of laws to have providers reimbursed for services done through telemedicine or telehealth, they were absolutely denied. And most recently, legislation and policy and regulations have changed where they do, in fact, pay for telehealth services and for elements of service that previously, historically, had never been approved. Assessments and things of that nature had never been approved. And so I think that we're going to see a very different kind of healthcare system that's going to develop because of the pandemic and the way we were forced to do things. And maybe they're not as bad, and maybe there was a lot of hidden benefits there. And so,
you know what they say about necessity? It's the mother of invention.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't have a problem continuing to meet this way. I guess I just can't hug you all when I'm doing it this way. But no, I'm comfortable doing it this way. That's fine.
Great.
So for the next meeting, it will be virtual. No
Correct.
hybrid. Okay.
I'm thinking like the schools, for example, they're meeting so many challenges. They're challenged in the way that they're going to do service delivery as they're going back to school. They have all kinds of challenges and logistical kind of nightmares that they have to take care of. And, Diana's and everybody. So, they're even more busy. And so I thought the Zoom, if we could continue the Zoom, at least for now, the foreseeable future, until everyone feels comfortable and that we can meet again face to face.
Yeah, unless the city of Laredo mandates that we meet physically sometime in the future, but under the current circumstances, I don't think they would force us to do it by mandate. But yeah, for a while we can continue doing the Zoom. I don't
Thank
have an
you.
issue with that.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, it's everything faster and more convenient. Okay. If anyone if no one has anything else to say, I guess we could adjourn. Yes. Okay.
I motion to adjourn.
I
I'll
second.
say- Did somebody motion?
Jaime Garza.
I did.
Mr.
Okay, thank you,
Garza
Jaime.
and Georgette.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Dr. Ruthinger. Okay, so I'll see you all next month, God willing. Take care,
Bye-bye.
Be safe. Bye-bye. Thank you. Daniela.
Thank you all so
Everyone
much.
be safe.
Have a great afternoon.
Thank you, Christine. We wouldn't have a meeting if not for you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.